What is going on to Ryan and Brian Talk Sports plus Nick Larson? I am actually here on time today. It's a pretty big deal. As always, we shout
Yes.
out Sleeper Picks and the fact that I made it on time. I got a new adapter. I actually went to a brick and mortar store and I bought one. So I could have went the online route, but I didn't want to risk any delays in delivery or anything. So I made sure I went out to a store, bought an adapter, and here on time.
My
Don't
Dedication.
ask don't ask when I did that. It was not at 4 p.m. today. It was way earlier.
sure it was.
What is going on? This is like a 6-game slate. I think the only 2 games that have full props up in the morning were the 2 shitty teams that have to play, like the Nets and the Wizards and all them. But some meaningful games, some fun games. I know the wannabe Jalen Williams was just ruled out. I know there's some other injury news we're waiting on, but
Hold
only
on,
6
what?
games. Jalen Williams, the
J Dub?
not I said the wannabe, like the one with the Y.
Got it.
Yeah, he's ruled out. So I know
Jay
that was
Will.
some Jay Will, yes.
Got it.
But how many plays do you guys have on this slate?
Vote.
4. I have 2. That's 4, 2.
It's a nice 10.
That's
Come on, Brian.
almost 5. That's over 5. We
over
were talking
5.
earlier, but
That's
talking
right.
earlier if I actually graduated college, but that's 10 plays. That's a lot. And then we have a parlay as always at the end of the show. Make sure to like and subscribe if you are one of the few people on the planet that actually likes this kind of content. We are here every Monday at 5 p.m. GoldBoys Network. Let's just get right into it. I'm going to start off with one of my plays because I know this makes sense for the order of the show, but I wanted to say something that I did take off. If you're in the group chat or you're in the Discord with us, I did take off the weekend of betting because between DeAndre Ayton getting hurt with 12 points at half, some 0.5 losses, whatever Darius Garland was doing with his 5 assists for 2 overtime periods, whatever it was, I actually didn't bet this weekend, and I think it's good news to adapt and overcome. So I'm excited for this week to come. So I just wanted to point that out that I'm excited to get back to the grind.
Yeah, let's have a banger week. Very excited.
Yeah. Is there are you guys hearing like double sound? Is that just me? Is anyone in the chat hearing that? I just want to make sure that we're not. If it's just us, we can work through it. But if the thing's going out fine, then we're good.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely hear it, but hopefully,
I'll just take one of my headphones out and then I'll just do my normal thing where I won't listen to a word you guys say, and I'll just say, "Oh, I like that," and then we'll move on.
I like that. Like and subscribe.
Yeah,
I like that.
So I actually
He just waits for the pause. I like that.
I just changed my mind. I want Nick to go first.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Mixing it
On the
up
spot,
on me.
dude. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
my first play is in the Wizards Jazz game. I'm going to take John Collins' rebound ladder and start it at 12. The Wizards are terrible rebounding against centers. They allow like 18 a game. Laurie, Markkinen, and Kessler are out tonight. John Collins burned me last game, but the opportunity is just right for the taking for him tonight. So I took 12 plus on DraftKings plus 165. And then Fanatics had the next best this morning for 14 plus 375 and for 16 plus 900. It's really against Bagley and Denny Adria as far as rebounds. So I just like Collins' opportunity.
You mentioned
Absolutely.
he burned you last time. The last time would it happen to be the game he played the Hawks? Because I don't know. What did he do in the
I bet
rebounds?
on him that game.
Did he have 10 rebounds and just no points? Is that what it was? I forget.
Oh,
that
here
game.
we go.
I had his
Here
first
we
quarter
go.
rebound.
Yeah, I know. I just know he let a lot of people down in that game. So,
Yep.
But overall, yeah, the Jazz are shorthanded. It should be a fine time to, kind of lock in. And the over under is 241.5. That should be one of those games where I actually think it's a good game to target overs because neither team's really playing for like 2 months. The Jazz, of course, a lot more than the Wizards, but they're also really shorthanded. So guys should see a lot of minutes.
Oh, they're tanking. They're definitely tanking right now.
Yeah. So you're going to see a lot of guys play high minutes.
No doubt. That would segue into one of my plays, and I can cut off Brian real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
John Collins, it was 26.5 PR when it opened. I believe it's 27.5 now. I'm fine with that. If you are a hit rate connoisseur, you're not going to like this one. But, Nick mentioned this is just kind of a different opportunity that he's normally had. Walker Kessler out. Laurie Markkinen is out. And then obviously we just get one of the top matchups in the league. Washington has just been absolutely abused all year long versus centers and power forwards for that matter. I just saw Hendricks pop up in the chat. I thought about Hendricks myself, but I went the Collins route. I mean, centers are just absolutely dismantling this team. Over the last 30 games, they're allowing 25.56 points per game, 18.44 rebounds a game to the center position. I think Collins should be kind of like a shoe-in to 33 minutes here at least. I think he can work up to 36 as long as he stays out of foul trouble. And Washington, like, they've been the worst in the league at defending the paint pretty much all season. And somehow over the last 10 games, they've gotten even worse. They're allowing 66.8 points in the paint over the last 10 games, which is the worst in the league by 7.0 points exactly. So it's just a hammer spot, man. It's become a really popular play. I do get a little, funky. It does feel a little funky when you end up on one of the popular plays. I just had to take this one and live with the results. It's just such a smash spot for Collins. He should absolutely obliterate this team. So we'll see what happens. But John Collins over, I believe, 27.5 PR. I would even take up to 28. John Collins.
I'm gonna interject again because you guys are both like Collins, and that game we talked about in general that I think it's fun for overs. This is a game I did take it over with, and I took on MGM minus 115. We talked about guys getting high minutes and Washington Wizards playing for absolutely nothing. Can you guys name since the last 10 games for any team who has the most assists in the entire league, like NBA as a whole, who has the most assists over the last 10 games, period?
Washington.
No, as a player. Yeah, Tyus Jones.
Tyus Jones.
Yep, 11.7 assists over his last 10 games and 20 on the dot for potential assists for his last 10 games. So he is basically, I don't even know, like prime John Stockton for this team of a bunch of not great players. So I actually, in this game, we talked about how shorthanded the Jazz are. I did think I took a look at, their interior defense, and it takes a big hit without guys like Markkanen and Kessler out there. And a guy that I actually like to score this game is Kyle Kuzma. So I took a parlay of Kuzma to score 20 and Tyus Jones have 9 assists. So it's minus 115. And I think it's such an interesting stat that out of his 11.7 assists per game over his last 10, 4 a game are to Kuzma. That is a crazy like sample size. I mean, I know 10 games is not too much of a sample size, but that's like 30% of his assists is going to one player. So if Kuzma has a good matchup tonight, he scored 20 more points in 8 of his last 10. I don't usually do the last 10 type of betting, but I also like to look at it this way because Poole went to the bench. They're kind of clicking a little bit more on offense. So if I'm going to use the last 10 for here, because Tyus Jones has 9 or more assists in 9 of his last 10 games. And anytime he's going off an assist, it means a guy like Kuzma that can get to the drive to the rim is scoring. So I feel like minus 15 felt like a really good price for this one, where you can pair a duo that's been just going off the last few games.
Yeah, big fan. I took him. I don't know. I'm in a weird spot with Tyus Jones because I took him 9.5 assists. I guess I would do 0.5 units on 10.5, but don't even technically have it as a official play on the show. But more so just kind of tagging along to say, Brian, I like that idea a lot because
I was really tempted. I'll tell you this, not to cut you off. I'm glad you said that. I was really tempted to do 20 and 10 at plus 115, and the more I looked at like a minus 115 for 29, it felt a lot not safer. But I've gotten like after getting burned on Darius Garland and some other assist plays where it's like that 0.5 makes all the difference. That 29 is where I ended up, and I'm still heavily debating doing like a 2010 like for a half unit to like kind of pair it with that, because I do think it's a great spot for
Ladder King like himself.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys aren't aware, I think the last 2 Sundays it's 19-0 now for the NBA on unders. Every game has gone under, so hopefully this is a game where the defense is that bad where we can an over spot for, even though it is 240.
So like that's gone like so viral lately. Like how many of these games are going under, and like every game that opened at whatever number it opened at has now been bet down so much. Like I almost feel like this is the spot where you go in and scoop up the over. So I don't know, maybe do like an alt over round robin or something if you're trying to fuck around with some free bets or something. I don't know, it just feels like as soon as the public catches up on a trend, that trend gets fucked. So I don't know, I kind of have this weird conspiracy that a lot of these games go over tonight, but we'll see if I'm a dumbass or not.
Yeah, I agree. No, because I do think it is interesting that books also start adjusting. I think the Nets game is an over-under like 123.5. It's so low. Like they're getting so like on top of that, where the unders trend has been crazy since the All-Star break. I honestly thought it'd be like a 1 week thing, and then last week was so much worse.
Yeah, it's something. But tonight's the overnight. I'm calling it now.
Overnight, we need it.
Someone in the chat mentioned, is this posted in the Discord or posting after? I want to post both in the Discord. I've been monitoring the lines, and both of the lines I had today did hold up, so I didn't feel like I felt like I was going to be able to do it afterwards. So I'll put both of my bets in the Discord afterwards.
Sounds like plan. Nick, if you'd like to go ahead, now would be a great time.
Yep. My next play is the Dalai Lama or Santi Aldama. We're going to take his
Spanish
three
KD.
ladder. Yeah. We're going to take his three ladder. He should be starting tonight. Was 5 for 9 for 3. Last game as a starter. Zaire Williams is out tonight. So the volume in minutes should be there for him. I took his 2 threes minus 125, 3 threes plus 270, and then 4 threes plus 750, all on FanDuel. Going against the Nets, not the greatest 3-point defending team. Grizzlies not playing for anything. They're gonna give him his minutes, and when he's in there, he tends to just chuck. So, really like this spot for him.
Spanish KD, baby. I bet on him a lot earlier in the season. He made me a lot of money one time, but then lost me a good amount the rest of the time. So ideally, this is a nice spot for him. I mean, that team is just so bruised and battered. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like what the Memphis Grizzlies have gone through this year.
If you
Holy
look
shit.
at their injury report, it is crazy to see. It almost looks fake. Like it almost looks like a roster, their injury report for this year.
Yeah, basically. Their injured team would, I mean, this goes without saying, but their injured team would kick the shit out of their healthy team. Probably even with their injuries.
Probably why they're still healthy. Like, probably why they're still hurt. Like John Morant with half a shoulder is going to be putting up 40 on that team. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I agree with that. I suppose it comes back to me. Let's go with James Harden. That's one of the earlier games. Harden's coming off a shit game, but I actually like this spot for him to score. So I think there's actually a minus 130 price for a 15-5. Smarter, better than I probably just goes ahead and takes that for 1 unit. But I did boost it up to 1 point. I took the 16.5 at minus 110 pretty much everywhere, I believe, for Harden over James. Good Lord. James Harden over 16.5 points, coming off a really bad game against arguably the best defense in the league. But the prior 20 games, he had hit the over in 13. The 3 games prior to his dog shit 0 for 10 performance last night, he scored 20, 23, 28. Westbrook continues to be out. I'm not really sold that helps him, but so much, but it certainly doesn't hurt him. But mostly Harden just kind of Harden fits the archetype of like a point guard. Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm sorry. This is my first show where I've drank beer in a little while, and I can tell.
Is it a single beer? Are you halfway through a beer and you can't talk? Is it the first time you've had a beer?
Pretty humbling moment for me. I'm not gonna lie, but he just fits the type of point guard that has a lot of success here. So, they're famous for that drop coverage. When Harden gets a pick set, Brook Lopez is going to stand 6 feet back of Harden. When they set picks, and he's such a heavy pick and roll ball handler. He's also an ISO scorer, which the Bucks really struggle to defend as well. I think it's a little bit harder of a matchup for Kawhi and PG, and they're so good that doesn't always matter. But I think Harden has a very advantageous matchup, whereas PG and Kawhi have maybe below average matchups here. So the 16.5 is just a number I really like. The Bucks run at the 6th fastest pace in the league. So Cam Kelly said I would remember my first beer. Yeah, leave me alone. But I think this will be a big night for James from deep. I probably shouldn't spell this, but it's okay. Portman in our Discord, he played him for threes, and I really like that look as well. I think he could see a nice jump in attempts. He averages about 7. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw closer to double digits. Is it about
7 or is it 7?
I think it's 6.9 actually, which is
that's
hysterical, really.
That's sick,
he's almost a 41% shooter, so I think he could pile up some points after bricking the shit out of every shot. And we've seen this guy score so well for 13 years.
He had one of those LeBron James stats the other day. He was like, I saw stat moves that said like he's the first player of all time to score 0 points on 10 shots or not make a field goal on 10 shots and also have 10 assists, one of those random stats that you really have to be hating to find.
Yeah, cherry picked ass stats for sure. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps me up here. I think he gets a lot of attempts from deep. I hope and think he can shoot very well. And then I also think he has an advantage as an ISO scorer. Ideally against Dame. I mean, I think that Crowder should. I think he either gets Dame or Beasley, and I like both of those options. So, yeah, good spot for James. I think he goes over tonight.
Yeah, I like that. I actually was very tempted to look into James Harden props today, so I'm glad I didn't. So that way you can have it. And
Thanks, man.
From you if it does go awry.
Beautiful.
That's always a good thing. I'll take my next. Oh wait,
I'm
what's up?
going to cut you off because I did take James Harden in mine as well.
No. Okay.
Harden 15, PG 15, minus 125 on DraftKings.
Do you have a funny name for that? There's no 20 for 20 there. There's no 4 for 4.
I was hoping you would have something.
If anyone in the chat knows like what a 15 pun would be, I don't have one off the top of my head. Does anything use 15s besides Josh Giddy? 15. I mean, I don't.
we can definitely go the Giddy route here if we needed to.
Giddy plays tonight. I don't know if we can add him for 15. He won't score 15 though.
No, he will not. Yeah, he's terrible.
Yeah, he is bad.
We should throw in his under PRA.
This is like off topic, but do you think that all this off the court issues is part of it? Because this is the most stacked team he's ever had in his career, and he looks the worst I've ever seen him.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has to do with that. It also has a lot to do with the fact that he's just put on, the worst defender. They have to hide this guy so bad. That has to kill your confidence so much. And then when you get the ball and nobody gives a shit that you have the ball with plenty of space.
Yeah, you saw the video yesterday where he had like a 3.
Nurkic paid him no mind yesterday, and I think they'll probably cover him with AD a little bit tonight, just so he could sag off, chill in the paint. Maybe a little bit tougher spot for SGA because I think he'll see not necessarily doubles, but just more attention in the paint. Because I would imagine that AD gets the Giddy assignment just so he could sag the fuck off after watching what we watched last night. So I don't know why we started this tangent, but I'm really intrigued in Giddy under PRA if it fits into our parlay.
I've taken Giddy under PRA 3 times this year, and I've won each one by 0.5. So I don't know if he really likes to hover around that 19 range, but I don't know. It's been kind of crazy. I know he's had some weird times, but yeah, I think tonight might be a SGA 31 point exactly on 43 shots or something like that. It might be a tougher matchup for him, but
yeah, I believe we started this with Nick having a play. So
Nick gave out his play. He already said it.
I guess that's true.
Did you listen? He gave out the 15-15, and I mentioned
if we had actually missed who the first player was. It was probably Giddy, wasn't it?
No,
it was never Giddy and Harden.
Harden and PG.
There it is. Gotcha.
And then I made a Giddy joke, and then now we ended up on 14 minutes of Giddy jokes. It really went off the rails like his career has been going. So I will interject and go with my play. I think earlier I mentioned on the show that I had a few, sometimes you can handle losing bets, but when you lose in the worst way possible, it just kind of gets your mental state kind of all screwed up. So that's why I took 2 days off.
That was all of January for me, so I feel
yeah, I know. I had to sell my card because I was telling you for all January. It was,
shut the fuck up. Hey, 30 rough, month in Feb. I'm back, baby.
Yeah,
we're good.
We're all back. We're all doing well here, but yeah, I was kind of saying that I think variance is a real thing, and it's some people use it as a crutch, but it is a thing that happens, and it kind of snaps back and forth. So I think you have to figure out a way to adapt and overcome. I mentioned before the show that I was out Friday and someone spilled a beer or spilled a drink on my phone. So now I don't have a chance to charge it because it says there's liquid in the charging port. So rather than spend $1,000 on a new phone, spend $15 on a portable, a wireless charger here. So that's adapting and overcoming. And since the All-Star break, I have won 4-0 on unders, and my overs have been kind of shitty. So the segue there is I'm taking an under in this slate, and it's Mikal Bridges under 22.5 points.
I love under Brian.
Does anyone have any overs on him? Do I feel bad for that?
No.
Yeah, so I took Bridges under 22.5 points, and it's simply that I know the Grizzlies are really bad, but their forwards are kind of just lanky. They're tall. I think, was it 7 foot, 6'9", and then I think they have I think 2 7-footers, even with being so short-handed that they played this matchup a week ago, and I think Mikal Bridges scored 11 points, only took like 14 or like 11 shots in general. I feel like he gets these high lines, especially now with no Cam Thomas. But Mikal Bridges at the heart of his game is not really a scorer. I don't think Cam Thomas being out opens up a ton of shots for him just because outside of last game, I mean, he's only taking 14 shots a night or 16 shots a night. In the month of February, he took 16 shots a night. This is a game where we talk about how bad the Grizzlies are. The Nets aren't much better, but they are 10-point favorites. They do play tomorrow. I know Mikal Bridges has you never get bailed out with him with minutes because he plays so many minutes. But the fact they play tomorrow, if this does turn pretty ugly, you would hope that the Iron Man would be able to get some rest before having a back-to-back. So, I mean, I'm taking Bridges under 22.5 points. He's only scored that, like I said, in his last 20 games, he's only done it 6 times. And like I said, up until last game against the Hawks, where he just randomly scored 39 or 38, he has gone under. I mean, he's just not taking the shot. So I just don't know if this is really a game where you expect him to come out and just shoot lights out.
Yeah, and that's a good shot. He's bad on the road as well.
Yeah, no, he's a lot better, worse on the road, and it's also just my main point here is he'd have to be extremely efficient, or if he decides to take another 25 shots, which he normally doesn't do, especially in back-to-back games. If you look at his game log this year, he very rarely goes back-to-back, taking 20-some field goal attempts a game. So I just don't see this being a spot where he's gonna come in and shoot 30 times. And if he does, good for him.
The Lonnie Walker night is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to note that the Nets have no superstars. Like I like Bridges a lot, but they have a lot of mid to good players. So it's kind of like the Sixers right now. If you watch the Sixers game, they have so many, 2 to 4s in their lineup that whoever's the hot hand can almost see more minutes. So with the way the Nets are structured, it's almost like with Schroeder or Walker, all these other guys, they might be able to get the hot hand and start shooting the ball a lot more than Bridges will see. So I did play this under 22.5.
Not mad at you there at all.
And me and Ryan have talked since our early days in MLB. Whenever FanDuel is 1 point lower or 1 point higher than another, so FanDuel has about 21.5. Every other book has about 22.5. If you have the FanDuel Wizard cap on, I think that's a good sign for unders on Bridges tonight.
Yep, like that a lot. We've consistently said that we think FanDuel's the sharpest book, and I find if 10 books have a minus 110 and FanDuel has a plus 100 on the line, I trust FanDuel over those 10 books pretty much every time, which is kind of crazy to say. But yeah, I agree with that. Big Groove said, please no more Lonnie Walker. He said I'm supposed to be banning the Nets. I banned the Nets and then I bet them the next game, but it kind of hit. It kind of hit. I had Schroeder PA as well as double-double. Double-double did not hit, but PA miraculously hit after a 1 PA first quarter. So maybe the Nets are back, Big Groove. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. We might just have to fire off 3 or 4 Nets bets tonight.
The Nets have barely scored 80 points in 3 different things. I mean, I don't think anyone really likes the Nets.
Team.
Does anyone like betting on the Nets?
Dude, I feel like Nets fans don't like the Nets. There's no way you could be excited.
But do you know what you should like, Ryan? Ryan, do you know what you should like?
Ooh,
you should like and subscribe to this channel, GoldBoys Network. I think that is what you should really like.
I agree with that.
Don't waste your money on Lonnie Walker props when you can like and subscribe here for free. So I mean, you just hit like. It's pretty easy. For the first time in Ryan's life, someone like him. That'd be really nice.
Yes, please. It would be very nice, Mark.
His wife tolerates him. His kids are stuck with him. Someone give him a like.
Yeah, I'm down bad. I could really use it. Speaking of down bad, I bet on the Bulls tonight. So let's go ahead and talk about that.
Oh, Jesus.
Honestly, Bulls props have been really good for me over the last 35 games.
Is it DeMar?
So. It is DeMar.
DeMar
over
I 22.5?
Huh?
Over 22.5?
PA. I went the PA route.
My bad.
So he's still he was 27.5 last night when I locked it in. That line disappeared. I think it's wiggled its way back to this loser book Fanatics /PointsBet. It's at minus 125 there. I'm cool with that. Caesars also has a minus 109 for 28.5, which I'm also very cool with. Pretty much every book hanging around minus 110 for 28.5. But really, really like this spot. This is one that I've hit a couple times recently, and I was really excited to see it stick around the 27, 28 spot. But he's just been a wagon lately. Over his last 10 games, averaging 25.9. So in a fast-paced game with defense optional versus the Kings, granted the Bulls will slow them down a little bit, but the Kings will also speed them up a little bit. I kind of think he's like a threat to hit this combo with just the points alone, which is kind of my idea when I target these combo props. Is like, if I think this guy is like a ladder candidate for points, why not just add another combo in and just bet one unit on it? Because his assists have been like a nice buffer here as well. He's averaging 40 passes a game. He leads the Bulls with 9.7 potential assists a game over the last 10. So assists have been pretty consistent for him as well. All in all, his recent sample size, he's averaging 31 PA over the last 10 games. He's hit in 8 out of 10. He's also hit in 65% of games without Zach LaVine with an average of 29.7. So it's a little funky referring to him as a power forward, but he technically starts at power forward. I'll be intrigued to see how they guard him, but I don't really care that much. The Kings allow the second most points to power forwards. They allow the ninth most assists to the position. So just a really good spot. I think this is a great spot all around. So he essentially doesn't leave the floor. He's got a 24.2% usage rate. The shots are there. He's efficient. And if they do kind of throw a double his way or trap him here and there, I like having the assist in there as well to kind of use as, again, a little bit of a buffer. So really like the spot for DeMar against the Kings, 27.5 points plus assist.
Ryan, we got a big dog gift to come
Yes.
up, which probably meant someone showed us some love, which is really awesome. Ryan is actually, like there's like AA and there's like all these interventions. Ryan, they're starting a new group to help Ryan's unique situation. He is obsessed with a Tiger Woods big dog, whether it's the meme, the gift, you name
my
it.
life, dude.
It's changed his life. His family won't talk to him because he just keeps saying big dog,
close,
big dog.
Dude.
It's getting really close.
Called my wife Big Dog on the phone today. So, yeah.
Honestly, I think returning from the All-Star break, I went 3-0 the first night, and you hit me with the big dog in the chat, and I've been asked ever since, and I think there's a correlation there.
Ooh,
so
interesting. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, so you got to hit me with like a too low emoji next, and maybe I'll
mystical and powerful, man. I like this gift. It's the top gift of all time, in my opinion.
That's a bold statement. But we'll have next week. We'll have a poll of the top gifts of all time / best memes of all time. But someone mentioned Wendys. It's Kenneth. I read it as Kenneth Gainwell. It's not him, sadly. I don't know if we have any Wendys plays from Nick today.
We do. We do have a Wendys play, a discounted one. We have SGA 4 rebounds, Kyle Kuzma 4 rebounds, Kawhi Leonard 4 rebounds, and the discount is your friend Mikal Bridges over 2.5 rebounds.
That's fine. I saw some people on Bridges PRA under. I actually kind of like his RA today. I just don't like him to score. So I think I like that a lot.
Man, we got a Wendys. Would you look at that?
Would you look at that?
Wendys, yeah. Kenneth Gainwell. Sorry, in my head, you're Kenneth Gainwell now. Congrats.
Yeah,
you're a member of the Eagles. You make
decent
money.
Somebody also asked about Collins' first quarter assist or first quarter rebound ladder. I looked at it, but the only thing with him in the first quarter is he tends to get subbed out pretty early in the first quarter.
Sure.
Sometimes he comes back at like the 2-minute mark, but sometimes he doesn't. So I'd rather just play the full game with him rather than take that risk of him only playing 6 minutes in the first quarter.
Would you be upset if he has 6 in the first quarter and you missed out? Is that?
I mean, that's probably what'll happen. As long as he gets 16 in the game, I'm fine. But
that sounds like a terrific start to me. So I don't think we could be too mad at that.
Ends at 7. Is that okay with you if that happens?
Don't even need to get that.
We don't need to speak that into existence.
That's right.
Yeah, all right. Big dog. Ryan, how many more plays do you have left? 1, and then I think Nick has 3 more left. So
0.
Now we're gonna give it to Ryan to finish things off.
I think it's really exciting here. I have like no leans for this parlay, so it's gonna be funky. But I do have one more straight. I'm just going to the 40,000 point man himself, LeBron James, over 32.5 points plus assists. We're sitting here. There are 62 games into their season, so there's 20 games to go. They're 2.5 games out of the 6 seed. If you get the 6 seed, you avoid the play-in. So they have a lot of I wouldn't say a ton of urgency because they kind of are locked into that 10 spot, but they're going to want to get that 6 seed pretty damn bad, and they're right there. So LeBron, if you remember very early in the season, Ham was like, yeah, we're going to try to monitor his minutes. And, monitoring at the time was like 33 minutes a game. He's now averaging 35.1 minutes a game, and that's even skyrocketed lately where he's averaging 36.9 minutes over his last 10 games. He's got 34 or more minutes in 9 out of 10 games. So, obviously when you get minutes, there goes opportunity and there goes production. So he's really taken off at this number. He's averaging 33.1 PA on the season, but over the last 20 games, that's jumped to 34.2. Over the last 10 games, that's jumped to 35.8. Volume is just beautiful. 19.5 field goal attempts. I believe this is over the last 10 games, by the way, but 19.5 field goal attempts, 5.5 threes, 3.8 free throw attempts, and then 15.1 potential assists. So just so much volume here. OKC they're a respectable defense. They're kind of like middle of the pack with defensive ratings. But they run at a top 10 pace. The Lakers are also, I think, top 5. So this game should be really fast paced, over under of 238.5. We have volume. We have urgency. This game's important to the Lakers as they face off against the number 1 seed in the West. So I really always like to back LeBron in a little bit more motivated spot. He's not quite as bad as some other guys that just take nights off like Jimmy Butler. But, if you have LeBron on a motivated night, a lot of time you'll catch him on a good one. So really like the spot, 32.5 points plus assists for LeJon Brames.
Yeah, one of the only bets I made over this weekend was I did take LeBron James alt line of over 8.5 when he needed the 9 points. So that hit pretty easily. It was put
minus 100,000.
Yeah, put $1,000 down, won 18 cents. It was awesome.
Can't beat it, man.
No, I do think that's a good look. I know I always say I make the jokes. I don't really listen, but LeBron James, you talked about before the show as well. You mentioned it in big games or more spotlighting moments. He usually is able to show out. I mean, he's been doing it for 63 years. So he's been in the league. Yeah. So I think it's not a bad line at all for a guy like him.
Beautiful. Parlay time. Maybe I got to find a lean or two here.
So we gave ourselves more time for the parlay because we have no clue what the hell we're doing. I don't think anyone really likes anything on this show. So the only thing I'll say is I will suggest the 2010 for Kuzma / Tyus Jones for that same game because I imagine it has to be plus money.
All for it. So let's start. We got Kuzma minus 270 for 20. Tyus Jones minus 170 for 10 assists. That already gets us to plus 100-ish range.
I like something James Harden.
We could go 15 for James.
And then
we might just be cooking here, boys.
Let me see. Yeah, so 15 for Harden.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually really like Norman Powell points in that game, but I don't really like to double down on teammates too often. But I think they both have advantageous.
What are your thoughts on Kawhi Leonard, 15 plus minus 4,000?
Big fan.
Right now we're at plus one. We're at plus 212. If we add that, it takes us to plus 214.
So we're cooking. We're getting there. One, I guess, lean that I'm still considering and very well may add it straight up, but J-Dub. That's why I was kind of shocked when you said Jalen Williams was out earlier. I love J-Dub tonight.
I like him too, actually. I think
20 points is minus 135. I think that would be a nice piece here.
Someone has to replace the Jalen Williams minutes. If you include that they both have the same name, they play about 43 minutes combined. Someone has to take the other Jalen Williams minutes. So
it only makes sense that he would.
Yeah, I don't see anybody else named Jalen Williams on this team. So that brings us to almost 450.
We're cooking. So we need one or two more legs. I almost am just a full go on avoiding the Memphis and Brooklyn, unless you wanted to go with the Mikal Bridges.
I'm okay I'm okay leaving out the Mikal Bridges under, just because I know people hate unders as well. So in a parlay, it's less fun.
Gobert rebounds, man rebounds, some good, interesting.
I do like Gobert rebounds, especially. My only thing is that on a back-to-back and a blowout, we're gonna have to bank on a high line because his line straight up is 13.5. That's my only worry. Even though Gobert is actually someone I don't worry about on double. On back-to-backs. He usually sees good minutes either way, but I think it's worth noting that his baseline is 13.5, which is the only reason I didn't play it today.
Yeah, they don't have any alt PR for him, which is super fucking lame. I would love to go an alt route like PR with him. I don't know. I'm not really liking. I've looked at Io DeSumo's 2 3s as well. I think that's a great option.
You don't like DeMar?
Memphis
You don't like DeMar enough?
I'm all for the DeMar play.
I
I
like
really
DeMar
like
too.
that spot. We could
Let
do
me
like
see,
a
like 21.5, like for points. Or do you want to do if there's an alt PA?
yeah. Assuming we don't like any other props in that game, we could do the alt.
Well, like
PA.
I will say, I like DeMar overall. Like I already was looking at him, so I wasn't sure if that was something you wanted to lock in.
We could do 25.5 is minus 225, but it's not going to move us to, well, it gets us to plus 700 range, which
If
we
we
would
do
need
the
one
21
fairly
and a half,
close to plus 100.
if we did just the 22 points, it gets to 770.
I like that better. Let's rock with that. And
then
it
we
gives
just
us the option to keep parlaying in this game as well if we wanted to.
Yes, I would do that. Anything
You said
guys love for this game?
21.5?
Yeah, like I feel like 22 is a lot safer than 22 and a half. Don't ask me why, it just is.
That's fine. So we essentially need one more. King's props are actually out. Well, no, just Saboner. Saboner assists is always a great option.
I'm about to say 8+ gets us to even, like to our what do you call it? Our 10-1
for boner assist.
Yeah, for 8+.
A couple mentions of Collins in the parlay are in the chat. I also seen maybe we got to fade Collins because everybody's on Collins. I kind of get it there. I would not mind not having Collins in this parlay.
I think the only thing with that is if everyone's on Collins and he's in the parlay, it's like you just are so overexposed. Kind of like I'm not gonna make a joke about overexposure. Never mind. So
it will, Bridget. Yes, it will be posted in the Discord.
yes.
I like that 8 assists for Boner.
I mean, we do that. It's 6 legs, but two of them are same game parlays.
Beautiful.
I mean, I feel like Sabonis is always. I mean, like especially against Vooch, an athletic big. I think we talked this before. Anytime you have an athletic big against Sabonis, I feel like if they can keep up with them, it makes it a lot easier for him to find passing lanes. So I don't hate the alt there for him.
Not at all. I mean, he's just been such a wagon. Badella mentioned Reeves PRA, which I do like, but we would not be able to add that to the same game parlay, which is kind of stupid because that's those alt combos are not part of the same game parlay on FanDuel.
Sabonis had 10 last time against the Bulls.
Yeah, they
is
bleed
that more than
threes
8?
and assists. So this,
I don't know. I was going to ask you because you were the math guy. So
I'm gonna type this out in the Discord, in the chat, but I'll read through it real quick. We have 6 legs, 2 of them in same game parlay mode. It's Kyle Kuzma 20+ points, Tyus Jones 10+ assists, DeMar DeRozan over 21.5 points, Sabonis 8+ assists, and then we have just points straight up for James Harden 15+, Jalen Williams, J Dubs at 20+. I am writing it out in the chat, and then we will have a link in the Discord, and we'll post it probably in all of our channels, or I'll tag these two in my channel.
Yeah, I like this one. Do we have a boost today? We do.
I have not checked.
Well, I have a boost. It says all sports eligible. That may be from yesterday. I'm not entirely sure because I don't remember opting into any things. I don't know, but you may have a 30% boost on a same game parlay. I might mess around and save mine. We'll see. Yeah.
I used my live boost yesterday on Kelly Oubre, which kind of made me upset as I'm typing this out and we need to fill content because we're just talking. I took this weekend off of betting, like I said, and I usually take so long in my handicap and all this stuff and running numbers. Yesterday, I bet on Kelly Oubre, and I laddered him up to 20 because he wore a cowboy suit to Dallas, and I got pissed off that it hit. So I was like, really? He just wore a cowboy hat, and I was like, oh, I'm betting on Kelly Oubre today. But then when I have like legit spots that don't work out, it pisses me off, man.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
Decisions are made.
Let me see.
1077. I am officially locked in. 20 to win 215. Might be rich by the end of the night. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, this is actually like I have a good feeling about this one, which kind of makes me upset because I just know that I need Kuzma and Tyus Jones for like a straight I played, so they're definitely going to be ones that blow it, and then everything else is going to hit, and it's just going to be me that feels bad about it.
I kind of look forward to that. That doesn't sound half bad.
I posted it in the chat. That took forever to type. I'm not good with the QWERTY method thing. Like my typing is pretty bad. Will it be posted on Twitter? Someone said. I will post one on Twitter. I think this
Yeah,
is a fun
definitely.
one to do. Also, the last one or two we've hit, we did post on Twitter too. So maybe that's the
Probably
key.
why.
Did we even
What's
come
that?
close last week? I don't even
I
remember that
don't remember.
parlay.
I blacked out.
It was the true
Not
same
from
game
drinking, just
parlay.
like out of sadness.
I think we were close on the last one because was that the one with we had Scotty Barnes back in it?
Oh, it was. Yeah, how did he miss? It was. Oh, we were close. It was
was
tracking. It
close.
was Tyrese Halliburton that fucked it up, wasn't it?
It was
Halliburton.
and Barrett rebounds.
Yeah, well,
I gotta
Barrett
pull up.
rebounds was a
We had
stupid fucking
4.
pick. Sorry, Ryan.
It was. I remember saying how safe that floor felt because he had 5 and like.
It was
19
our
out of
fault.
20
Me and
games.
Ryan, credit to Nick. Nick cooked. Me and Ryan both had legs that lost because we said, "How can they lose? There's such safe numbers for these guys." It was Hallie 10 assists and Barnes 5 rebounds, whatever, and it just did not go well.
Tough.
Someone
but
mentioned, could we do a video of us doing a video process of like how we make our bets? Yes, we can do that. If Ryan was ever free outside of this time
No,
frame,
dude,
maybe we
Jesus.
would be able to. But I do think that if someone wears a cowboy hat in Dallas, that's a good way to make your bets, according to Kelly Oubre yesterday. But I will make a video like that because I gotta do more contact with GoldBoys so that way they don't keep kidnapping my family because I keep getting busy and missing on certain videos. So I think it's a good idea. So I will do something like that if Nick will do it with me because I know Ryan has been, he's busy with kids and life and shit like that. So maybe me and Nick
Drowning
can
in
make
children at all times.
Yeah. So
I can write a book on my process because it changes every day too. So I don't even know if I could give you like a good synopsis of how I make these decisions, but I can certainly try.
which pisses me off because I spent like 3 or 4 months developing like on Python NBA models and research tools, and Ryan's like, "Fuck it, this guy's scoring 30," and I'm like, "Damn it, he scored 30." Like I don't know, like it's like
Ryan, we could do it. We could do it during baseball, and where we just name the same player, and then you just automatically cross that one off. So that's pretty effective too.
I actually struggled to start the year in baseball and MLB, and then after me and Nick started texting more and doing me and Nick, shout out if you would do it again on Wednesdays. I would love to do more spaces with Nick for baseball because that was a fun time. But we started cooking at the end of the season by just crossing off if we both like something. If we had 6 plays each, and I had 3 I liked, and he had 3 that matched, we would just not play them, and we started doing a lot better just doing the ones we had separately because. Garrett Cole would have 12 strikeouts a game, then 3 at the time. We're like, oh, he's safe for 4. Like it was ridiculous. So that's another way to do it.
Dude, I can't wait for baseball. I'm so fucking excited.
Same.
I will say there's nothing like because I have a pool club like in my like a complex here. There's nothing like day baseball, looking at my phone, getting hooked by a strikeout prop, getting so pissed, and then like going to the pool and just like ruining my entire day. There's something special about it. You know what I mean? Like it's like you're pissed off, but there's something special about being mad at 2 p.m. on like a Tuesday. Like there's something really special about being that upset over a pitcher that you've never and will never meet in your entire life at like 2 p.m. on a random day.
When I lose a bet at night, I'm just like, oh man. I mean, every once in a while it'll piss me off, but when I lose a bet at night, it's mostly like, oh, that sucks, man. Looking forward to see how my other ones go. If I lose a bet at 2 p.m., I'm like fucking steaming pissed. Dude, every time. I have no idea why either.
It's the same thing with Tyrese Maxey last week against the Bucks. I was really like convinced he was going to go off, and then he just didn't shoot. And it was like 1 p.m. was matinee game. It was the only game on, and I was like, "This fucking." I was so mad, and my fiance was like, "Dude, I thought you already hated the Sixers. You said they're going to lose." I'm like, "Yeah, but." It's the only thing on right now, and it's pissing me off. I was getting so like I went in like, oh, whatever happens, happens, and then I got so mad. It ruined my entire day. And like it shouldn't have, but also being a fan of the team, like I was pissed. We scored 5 points in the fourth quarter against Doc freaking River. Dude, that 2 p.m. anger is something special.
It's unprecedented.
Yeah,
I suppose we could
what's up?
Wrap this bad
I'm about
boy
to say,
up.
I think we can wrap up. We were 10 minutes early. We got to talk about some, special anger and some disdain we have towards each other and other people. So I think that's a special thing we share.
That is good. Yeah.
I'll kick off the recap so Ryan can sign us out. But I only have 2 plays tonight, 6-game slate. I might add something to the late game. I'm waiting on lineups, but I took Mikal Bridges under 22.5 points. It's 22.5 anywhere, but FanDuel, the best book right now, is -15 on MGM. And then I took a same game parlay, ESPN or MGM are best books. Tyus Jones, 9+ assists, parlayed with Kyle Kuzma, 20+ points. So then that's all I have for those 2 games.
Awesome.
I've got John Collins ladder against the Wizards, 12 on DraftKings plus 165, then 14 on Fanatics plus 375, and 16 on Fanatics plus 900. Then a 15-15 parlay of the Clippers game. James Harden 15, Paul George 15 on DraftKings -120. Then we've got Santi Aldama, threes ladder all on FanDuel, 2 -125, 3 plus 270, 4 plus 750. And then finally the discounted Wendys, Mikal Bridges over 2.5 rebounds, Kawhi Leonard 4 rebounds, Kyle Kuzma 4 rebounds, and GA 4 rebounds.
Awesome. Big dog. All right. I went with John Collins. I meant to look at what that current number is. I would think it's like 27 or 28.5 points plus rebounds. I'm sure it's pretty widely available. I should have done this, more prepared person would have done a way better job than I'm doing right now, but that's okay. 27.5 is -125 on 365. 28.5 is -120 on ESPN. So this one's moved a little bit on us. I still like it, man. This should just be an absolute smash spot for John Collins. Nonetheless, John Collins over points plus rebounds. DeMar DeRozan over 27 or 28.5 points plus assist. Then I went LeBron James over 32.5 points plus assist. And then finally, if wrapped it up with James Harden over 16.5 points, -110 pretty much everywhere. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Baseball's coming up, which I'm super excited about. We always have a good time talking baseball, and soon we'll have NBA and baseball overlapping. So a lot to look forward to. So make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you to Sleeper Picks for sponsoring, and we will see you next Monday.